Whoever joins in, joins in. I wanted to do one more. I wanted to do one more. I want to do one more react. Look. Look what time it is, bro. It's literally 3:10 a.m. I want to do one more react, and I want to watch this video. So I want to make sure that I get this shit on stream, and that I'll be able to make it into a YouTube video, you feel me? So if you catch this late night stream, welcome. But this video caught my attention. It said, what a life sentence actually feels like. And this is by the Infographics, and Infographics got some fire-ass videos, I'm not going to lie. Infographics got some fire-ass videos. I saw it was a 20-minute video. I feel like it'd be a good little section to react to, you feel me? So we're going to go ahead and get right into it, man. But if y'all don't, But if y'all don't know me, my name's 206 Astro. I'm a fucking independent artist, and I really do this shit, man. I really do this shit, bro. And I'm about to take it to a whole new level after I get into this little shadig that I'm going through, you feel me? Once I do that and once I complete that, man, we going to be in a whole different level. So just know there's a lot of content coming from my way. It's 3:10, like I said, bro. I just edited 10 fucking videos. Nah, I just edited 14 different videos to go on every single platform. And about, I would say, a third of those are about to get posted tomorrow. So I still have the whole week to go. But all right, man. Enough ranting, enough rambling. We about to get right into this, bro. What a life sentence actually feels like. Day 1 to year 40. Fuck, dude. I would not be able to live a life sentence, bro. Would you be able to survive a life sentence? Let me know in the comments down below.
40 years in prison doesn't just change you, it rewires you. The system is...
Hold up.
40 years in prison doesn't just change you, it rewires you. The system is
Facts.
designed to wear you down, to break you. By the time you get out, everything you knew is gone. How do people survive that and not lose themselves completely?
Damn, imagine being in a completely different, like, time in the world when you come out of, like, the same four walls for the next fucking 40 years.
On today's episode of the Infographic Show, we're walking through what a life sentence in prison is actually like. Day 1, you shuffle off the bus in handcuffs and leg irons.
Dude, I'd never want to go to prison, bro. I'd never ever want to go to prison, bro. I fucking work McDonald's for the rest of my life, bro. You never gonna catch me doing some stupid ass shit.
Up at the guard towers and razor wire fencing.
Fuck that.
Armed officers herd you forward, their eyes cold. To
That
them,
shit's
you are
insane.
nothing. And this is it, your home for the next 4 decades. You enter a
Fuck.
holding room where an officer takes off your leg irons and gestures toward a thick door, the booking area. They take your wedding band and slip your phone and wallet into a Ziploc bag.
Whoa, really? You
$200
can't
goes
even...
into your prisoner trust account and another $100 into your telephone account. In
Nah,
another
that's
room, you're
insane.
told to strip. A guard smirks when they notice the tattoo of your son's name inked across your chest. Your son, just 4 years old, will grow up without a father. And your wife, who swore she would wait, will have gray hair and wrinkles the next time you hold her, if you ever hold her.
Whoa, this fucking L-ass ad, bro. L-ad, bro, what the fuck?
Again, just 4 years old
Bro, this shit got intense quick as fuck, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
will grow up without a father. And your wife, who swore she would wait, will have gray hair and wrinkles the next time
Who
you hold
swore
her.
she would wait is crazy.
If you ever hold her again. The truth is, you've already accepted she'll move on, but the very thought of that right now is unbearable. Then comes the strip search. The whole process is totally dehumanizing. You never thought of yourself as a bad person. It was self-defense, but that didn't wash with a jury of 12 men and women. The judge called it a callous disregard for human life, a deliberate act of calculated cruelty.
What?
If you had to defend yourself again, you would. And in this prison, it'll become a reality. But fighting isn't what frightens you. It's spending the next 40 years in small claustrophobic rooms as the property of the United States government. Just another body the officers will process today.
Nah, that's
You're
fucking
handed
insane,
your prison-issue
bro.
slip-on shoes, gray jogging pants, and a sweater bearing the initials DOC, Department of Corrections. They
Fuck.
fingerprint you and they take your photo. You're now a number, 12515-066. One of 1.8 million Americans behind bars. One of 600,000 people sent to prison each year. And one of the 1 in 6 who will...
Dude, there's 8 million people in jail right now. Oh my god. 1 in 6? Oh my gosh.
One of 600,000 people sent to prison each year. And one of the 1 in
1 of 600,000 each year.
6 who will never leave, serving a
Damn.
life sentence. Orientation blurs past. The officers talk about violence, about reporting abuse, but all you can think about is your wife and child at home. Later, a nurse performs the health checkup, She asks about your drug
Fuck.
history and whether you're a danger to yourself. You mutter no and you shake your head. She scribbles a note in your file and you are out the door. You're moved into another nameless.
Dude, you can't even smoke weed in there. Nah, bro, I'd be cooked, bro. Nah, I'd never go here, bro. God forbid, man. God forbid.
Colorless room. Have you ever worked for law enforcement? A guy in a shirt and tie asks you. No, you haven't, and you've never testified against anyone, so there's no reason you can't do your time in the general population. None of this feels real. Your state-appointed lawyer had been sure you would just get a few years for manslaughter, or better, it'd be viewed as a justifiable homicide. You were one of the 80 to 90% of federal criminal defendants in the U.S. defended by the state, a nation where with enough money the odds aren't too bad for getting away with serious felonies. The
What?
thought makes you furious. Your emotions swing wildly, from rage to despair. You just saw a female and a male officer laughing and joking with each other, casual workplace flirting. You'll never share a moment like that again. And
Fuck.
then you walk through the bowels of the prison, door after door creaking open until the faint sound of voices grows louder, the smell of floor cleaner and sweat filling your nostrils. The last door opens to your unit. Faces look up from the tables where men are slamming down dominoes and cards. You keep your head high. You don't show them any weakness. White, black, brown, all in their own tight clique. Like it or not, this
Fuck.
is your new family. Fish! Someone shouts from behind you. It reminds you of your school, but with grown men, dangerous men.
Fuck.
You're not interested in what any of them has done or the prison hierarchy they belong to. You don't want to be a part of their system, their code.
Nah, at that point, bro, you'd have to just walk up on some like, what up, y'all? Can y'all this okay, look, this is not advice if you go to prison. My advice is that you don't go to prison. But if you do go to prison, God forbid, I would walk up in there and I would probably just be like, yo, man, what's the word, bro? What's the word, bro? Like, what's happening, man? Just give me the rundown. Fuck, if I say rundown, they might run me down. Fuck that. Fuck that. I might fuck around and say, like, yo, bro, like, what's happening, bro? What do I, you know what I'm saying? What's happening, bro? I just got caught up for some bullshit, bro. Like, I'd be so pissed. I'd be like, bro, I just got in for some fucking bullshit, bro. Like, I'm not even picturing myself in there, bro. That's insane. That shit's insane.
You're not scared of them. The only thing that scares you now is time. You walk into your cell. Your cellie barely looks up, jerking his head to the top bunk. You toss your prison handbook on a steel desk, barely
Shit.
a foot away from a toilet sink combo that smells like it was freshly used.
Shit.
You still expect to wake up with your wife beside you, telling you it was all just a bad.
Dude, fuck. Hey, y'all should make sure you give me a sub so I can get YouTube Premium, please. Please.
You were locked up, you'd want telling you it was all just a bad
Please.
dream. Month 1. Before you were locked up, you'd watched prison TV shows, like millions of others. You dismissed them as poverty porn, cheap exploitation of damaged
Fuck.
lives, but you still watched. Your guilty pleasure was seeing grown men fight over a missing piece of candy. But you never thought you would be one of them. In here, you know your place, and it's decided
Whoa.
by skin color and affiliation. Since you have no affiliation, unless you count CrossFit, Catholicism, or the Pee Wee soccer team you coached, you're lumped in with the whites. This was explained to you when a group of thugs walked into your cell a day after you'd arrived. They wanted to see your papers, your charges, checking to see if you were a chomo or some other kind of sex offender. You used to think that the prison code, when you heard about it on TV, was insane and hypocritical. But now that you're a part of
Paper check is insane. Paper check is insane. What the fuck? What the fuck? Whoa. Whoa. Am I still live? Am I still live? What the fuck just happened? Am I still live? What just happened? What just happened? What the fuck? I can't even like. Oh shit, what the hell? That was insane, bro. Why did that happen? Oh my god, bro. Bro, shut the fuck up, man. Talking about some cheap followers, bro. Shut your ass up, man. How about you actually shoot me a fucking follow and support a young man who's really trying to get this shit out the mud? That shit's crazy. Fuck out of here, bro. My whole stream just Fucking almost got cooked, bro. Fuck. Paper check is insane, though. I'm not gonna lie. Paper check is insane. Ugh. Not gonna be needing that soon. Paper check is insane. Atomo is insane, bro. Nah, that's like that's insane. That's insane. They would beat the fuck out of you for that shit, and I don't blame them.
Part of it, you keep your mouth shut. The guys looked insane and hypocritical, but now that you're a part of it, you keep your mouth shut. The guys looked impressed when they read your homicide conviction, and here, that's a badge of honor. You don't bother telling them the details, what your useless lawyer had called mitigating circumstances. Neither do you play the tough guy. Your cellie later tells you that tough guys don't last long in prison. Just be cool and you'll be all right, he told you, but his bid is 7 years, not 40. He explained that you are constantly monitored, that cameras watch your every move, but he said this doesn't stop the violence. Someone was stabbed in the shower stalls a week or two before you arrived. He said if someone wants you dead, they can kill you and make it look self-inflicted. The kid who carried it out was a torpedo, ordered to put work in for the Mexican mafia. They run things in this unit, taking orders from the boss, the shot caller. When there are problems, this guy will mediate it with the heads of the other races. You soon learn that if someone disrespects you, you fight back, or you'll become a victim. You have seen it with your own eyes.
A victim? A victim of what? A victim of what?
Over a stare. Something your cellie called mad dogging. Another guy was beaten for farting, a sign of disrespect. The unit feels like a time bomb. The fuse hasn't been lit yet. Your cellie says all-out violence is rare, it disrupts business. And business means drugs. Sometimes they're smuggled in, but more often an officer will bring them in. If you cause a fight, the unit is locked down and the cells get tossed. If drugs or weapons are confiscated, you can expect a beating. And you'd better hope the shot caller is feeling generous, because an HOS or hit on sight can easily become a KOS, kill on sight.
Whoa, what?
Month 6. You're adjusting to prison life, and not just
Month 6?
learning to poop in front of another man. You've gotten drunk on prison alcohol, brewed by your wing's Pruno guy, the hooch expert, making money from hustle. Your cellie said it's a pretty simple process. Just take a whole load of old fruit and mix it with bread and then add extra sugar for strength. Even ketchup and candies work. You've got to leave it to ferment, usually in a watertight bag that can be acquired from the kitchen. You pour a bit of extra warm water into it every day. The key is just finding a good hiding place, ideally above the roofing tiles or even inside the walls. It only takes 5 to 7 days to brew, but the longer you leave it, the stronger it is. You can get it up to about 15%, even 30%, but the norm is about 10%. It's important to burp the bag or let the pressure out, otherwise you'll have an explosion on your hands. It wasn't the best thing you've ever drunk, but at $10 a cup, it'll do. You've been so depressed that even a cheap buzz felt like relief.
Jesus, what? Bro, isn't prison alcohol made in like toilets and shit? The same place where they actually take a shit? Nah, bro, that's nasty, bro.
But that is not the only escape available inside. You name it, you can buy it here. Heroin, cocaine, Xanax,
whoa, what?
methamphetamines, spice, even LSD and ecstasy. Nothing about...
Hey, they got acid. If they got acid, fuck, dude. Fuck, it would be such an unfortunate situation to throw your life away for something like that, bro. But they got acid, though. Shit, you might need to take some adventures for a few years.
About prison makes sense. Guys
I'm not encouraging anything, by the way, Twitch. I'm just saying some bullshit.
locked up for possession are doing harder drugs inside. Others who had never touched drugs get hooked here, carrying the habit back outside. And abuse doesn't come cheap. Everything here is about 5 to 10 times the cost on the outside. A corrupt, low-paid prison officer and a gang can make some serious cash. The guys often target female staff or officers.
This is
Stop. L ad.
Ones who have low self-esteem. The guys often target female staff or officers, deliberately looking for ones who have low self-esteem. You once read that some women officers admitted they liked the protection inmates gave them. It made life easier. Some, said a report, were just infatuated with the gang members. Others liked buying Percocet on the street for just $5 and getting $50 in prison. And And it's more common than people think. You remember reading that in Baltimore, 75% of 650 correctional officers were women, and a witness claimed 65 to 75% of them were involved in contraband, smuggling, or relationships with inmates. Just before you came into the prison, a report out of Kentucky said 30 officers had sex with inmates in only 16 months. Meanwhile, 14 others smuggled in drugs. And now you've seen it happen yourself. In prison, you'll pay around $40 for enough tobacco for a few rolled cigarettes. Weed, about $10 a gram outside of prison, is $60 inside. Meth, popular because the high lasts a gram outside of prison, is $60 inside. Meth, popular because the high lasts a long time, is about $40 a gram outside and $130 inside. Heroin, $10 a bag outside, is $70 or more here. Just a cheap prescription Suboxone pill sells for about $80, so a corrupt officer can be paid thousands for one small package. And if you want a smartphone, a phone that has possibly been plugged, you might pay $6,000. Urselli said prisoners have used drones to fly contraband over the walls. No matter what, the business doesn't stop. If there are seizures, all it does is push the prices up, making it more lucrative for anyone involved.
No way. No way. No fucking way. No fucking way.
Enough tobacco
Nah, we gotta
for a
move
few
that
rolled
back.
cigarettes.
We gotta go back. $40? I was just
about
saying.
$10 a gram outside of prison is $60 inside.
Oh my god, that's still insane though. That's fucking insane. That's insane. How the fuck did my mic cut off, bro? That shit pisses me off, bro. Fuck though, that shit's insane. Dude, $60 a gram? What I was saying was this, a phone is $6K.
Popular because the cheap prescriptively been plugged, you might pay $6,000.
$6,000? This is 1/6. This is 1/6 of that price. 1/6. That's insane. That's absurd.
Urselli said prisoners have used drones to fly contraband over the walls. No matter what, the business doesn't stop. If there are seizures, all it does is push the prices up, making it more lucrative for anyone involved. In other words, what you've learned is that criminals remain criminals in prison. Also, prisoners usually learn a few new tricks of the trade in what some call crime school. It's no wonder that about 3/4 of these men will be back within 5 years of their release. And you'll be here waiting. Year 1. So far, you managed to stay out of trouble. It's true what they say about prison. If you keep your head down, be polite, don't let anyone take advantage of you, or breach the prison code, you might manage to finish your sentence unscathed. And so far, that's true. You've not been forced to join a gang, but it is just a fact of life in here that you don't get too close to the other races. You don't eat with them, you don't spot them in the yard.
What? That's insane. You can't even eat with the other races, bro? Bro, what?
They're working out.
That's so crazy that segregation is actually that thing in there, bro. That's insane.
You don't borrow things from them or help them. The code demands you stay out of other people's business. Don't even ask people what they're in for. You heard a guy got a beating just for looking into someone's cell when he walked past.
Damn, for real? That's insane. What the fuck? I can't even look. I can't even look.
Prevents real friendships from being made. If the authorities plan to divide and rule in prison, it is working. But now the friends you had outside, those guys that said they'd stick by you, they're writing less often. Your wife writes at least once a week, and she and your kid visit once every 2 weeks. It doesn't help that visits are on weekdays, and they've put you in a prison about 170 miles from your home. You always make sure that when she visits, she leaves with a smile. You've already probably spent literally hundreds of hours going through all the men you suspect have a crush.
When you get car
Fucking L ad, bro. L ad. Make sure you drop a sub so I can get YouTube Premium.
It's that your days are pretty much all the same. Breakfast at 6:30, then you work in the kitchen till 4 p.m. Your celly says you were
Damn.
lucky to get a job in the kitchen, but 30 cents an hour doesn't feel very lucky.
Damn. 30 cents an hour is fucking insane, bro. 30 cents an hour? Let's do the math real quick. Hold up, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. You already know ChatGPT is my goddamn best friend. Look, if you're in prison making fucking 30 cents an hour, Jesus, how long would it take you to make 6K? Because remember, the phone is $6,000 in there. So I asked Chat, I said, if you're in prison making 30 cents an hour, how long would it take you to make 6K? 20,000 hours. That's 20, that's 2,500 days. That's in, whoa, wait, 2,500 divided by 365 equals, damn, bro, 6 years and 10 months. 6 years and 10 months working full 8-hour days. Dude, you have to work for 6 years to get a fucking phone. Holy shit.
You only get yard time 3 times a week,
That's
but there is
crazy.
indoor recreation every day. Dinner starts at 6 p.m., lockdown is 9 p.m., and it's lights out at 10 p.m. Nothing changes except for anger management sessions. An hour twice a week with a young therapist fresh out of school. He wants you to talk about your emotions, and he loves to mention the boomerang effect. Don't express your feelings and they'll likely explode later in a fit of fury. Sometimes violence is necessary, you think? The therapist wouldn't understand. It's not something you can learn in university. Sure, you regret your crime, but only because of the consequences. Year 5. The officers all know your name. You've
Year
seen them
5 is
come and go.
crazy.
The weak ones get exploited, and the tyrants are hated. The good ones are firm but fair. As for you, there's a kind of respect for guys who will be in here for a long time, as long as they stay out of the business and they haven't hurt women or kids. The
Yep,
prison does
makes
have
sense.
some educational programs, but they're not available to everyone. And for most of the young gangbangers, education is viewed as a weakness. If you're smart, you find a hustle, and by your first year you had one. You are one of the few who can write and make sense of complicated legal texts. That's made you the jailhouse lawyer. It's against prison rules, but so are all the hustles. The officers usually turn a blind eye to it as long as nothing gets out of hand. But if there's a shakedown, any sign of your hustle, and you might get some time in the special housing unit, the SHU. In there, it's a 23-hour-a-day lockdown. Your
SHU?
exercise is in a miserable cage. You've been there only once, and you don't want to go again. All day, all you heard were screams and shouting. In prison, it feels like about half the guys are mentally ill. You read once that 15% have a serious mental illness like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or major depression. And
Jesus.
the crazy ones often end up in the SHU, slamming their heads against the wall or harming themselves. Thankfully, they still allow you to read in the SHU, otherwise you might have
That's
gone crazy.
insane. What the
prison
fuck?
library isn't great, but it is a lifesaver. Well, it is if you're not one of the 60 to 75% of U.S. prisoners who are functionally illiterate.
What? 75% of the people in prison are illiterate? What? Are you fucking stupid? I mean, I guess, right? Because you're illiterate, right? I guess you are stupid, right? Right? I don't know.
For lifers, if you're not constantly doing gang business, there are 3 main ways to stay sane: regular exercise,
Yep.
meditation, and reading. Reading is one activity that you've seen in prison that actually helps people rehabilitate themselves. The selection isn't great, way too much romance fiction. Still, they have a lot of classics and some okay nonfiction. You just go to the library during yard time and you check out the books. When you were in the SHU, they came around with a cart. Your wife sends books in too, and prisoners can order from Amazon.
Nice.
You
What? They
can't
can order from Amazon? What the fuck? What?
have overtly sexual books or anything that might inspire or teach violence. And yes, there's actually a banned books list. The 2023 Prison Libraries Act was supposed to address the lack of funding, but the bigger problem is censorship. If they were really serious about rehabilitation, they should be making sure prisoners have access to a wide range of educational nonfiction and literary fiction. But instead, they ban books like it's North Korea.
Damn.
The worst state, your wife told you, was Florida, with over 22,000 books banned.
Dude,
Texas
what?
came next with around 10,000.
Why are you banning books? Wouldn't you want your prisoners to reform?
Kansas with 7,700, Virginia with 7,200, and New York with 5,300. And that includes language books.
Have you ever wondered?
Fuck. I've never wondered shit. I haven't wondered anything, bro.
Can't read, and drawing books that inmates might use for tattoos.
Damn.
Often no reason is given, just stamped threat to security. In some states, even books with homosexuality are banned. Part of you thinks that the system is not
What?
interested in
What does
rehabilitation
that have to do?
as
Yeah.
much as filling quotas and punishing people. You had
Not
a
for
lot of
real.
time to think about the man you murdered. You've watched men in here brag about violence and killing, and it hit you hard. Maybe you are just as messed up as they are. You always thought you were different, that your case was special, but just about everyone here says that. But your crime only created more trauma, which you are now passing down to your son. Violence is like a vicious cycle. If prison has done anything good for you, it's the realization that crime is all about cause and effect, and that even in bad
Dude, I don't know
circumstances,
how. Dude, look, I don't know how, but I got this fucking cut on my wrist, bro. Like, look right here, bro. It looks like a fucking cat scratched me, bro. I don't know what the fuck happened. Do y'all see that right there? This right here? What the fuck? I don't know how that shit happened. This shit's insane.
a civilized man can choose to end it. Still, you know you did wrong, and it won't help you get through another 30
I think
years.
my nails are too sharp.
Year 10. About 3 years
Shit.
ago, your wife started writing less often. She canceled
Damn.
visits, one after the other. Your son, who's now 14, started getting into trouble, and your wife said it was your fault. Now, he barely visits you, and when he does, he looks bored and resentful. And then you got the letter. She'd met another guy.
Damn. You're cooked, dude. You're cooked.
She loved you, she said. She tried, but she couldn't live the best years of her life alone. In a
Facts. I mean, hey, she looking out for herself, though. You feel me? It's facts. You fucking sitting rotten in jail, bro. Like,
way, you felt some relief. Part of you wanted to respect her decision. The other part wanted his name and address. The group therapist said anger is a very natural response in these circumstances, but what does he know about spending your life in prison? You'll be sitting in the prison workshop and suddenly there will be an image in your head of your wife kissing some other guy. The pain is indescribable, and
well, I mean, I've never been married, so like, I don't know. I feel like it would just be like a breakup, to be honest.
there is nothing you can do to escape it. So
I don't know. I've never been that involved with a
oh, you're
female before.
in a prison, but also in a cage in your head, torturing
Oh,
yourself
no.
daily, and no matter what you do, those bad thoughts will come. And worse, you can't talk about it to a friend. You can't show weakness in here. And then you cracked. The therapist was right about the boomerang effect. You'd mistakenly told someone about something you enjoyed, a book you were reading. God knows why you let a feeling slip out, but you did. The novel was The Count of Monte Cristo, a story about love, revenge, justice, and morality.
The fuck?
It really
Is that
resonated
weak?
with you, but then you got to the all-important final pages and someone had ripped them out. That's the kind of petty thing that happens all the time in prison.
Why the fuck would you tell anybody you were reading that book? I ain't saying this. I ain't saying that shit.
But after 10 years after being
What?
dumped, you just lost it. You snapped. Someone told you it was one of the new kids. You waited until he went to the showers and you knocked him clean out with one punch. If you hadn't done anything, you'd have been seen as weak. But the truth is, you did it because you were angry. Therapy is good on paper, but it doesn't take into account the extreme extremes of prison life. In the shoe, an officer told you someone else had torn out the pages. You'd beaten an innocent kid for nothing, putting in work for a conniving liar. Maybe the officer
Damn.
was lying, so you'll beat another innocent man. This is life in the prison. Constant
Damn.
manipulation, constant lies, people taking pleasure in suffering. It destroys your faith in humanity. You know
Yeah.
you can't do another 30 years of this, and after that
The crazy thing is that that is true. Still got another 30 years of that shit. Come on, man. Stop doing that weird shit, man.
last
30 more years. This is only year 10.
beating,
Look.
stitches, hospital trauma, you doubt the parole board will be doing you any favors.
Fuck.
Year 20. A year later, you learned your wife's new lover was your best friend. You would
Whoa! Getting backdoored like that is incredibly disrespectful, bro. The best friend?
lost your two best pen pals, the core of your emotional support,
Fuck.
in one blow. And now your only visitors are your brother and your mom. But your mom is sick, and you carry the added guilt of not being able to help her. You're sure the stress of what you did made her sick. You probably would have lost your mind if it weren't for one thing. Between years 14 and 19, you wrote a novel. It was your greatest accomplishment, besides having a son who
Bro, what?
still won't talk to you.
Writing a novel? Wait, what?
Under the First Amendment, you technically have the right to express yourself, even in prison. But then one day during a lockdown, your cell got tossed. And when
Tossed.
you came back, your manuscript was gone. You complained loudly, and they called you into the office, and that's when they told you the truth. Your manuscript was confiscated and burned. Why?
Whoa! Burned is crazy.
Well, the characters might resemble prison staff. They also said your book could incite violence, that it was a threat to prison security. And that was it. You finally lost your mind. But it wasn't an explosion of violence this time, it was
Damn.
quiet. You just withdrew into yourself. You gave up.
Damn. Look at this ad. Look at this motherfucking ad. Look at this goddamn ad. Perfect pause. Perfect pause. Yeah. Oh, this new app. Yeah.
You realized you can't win in prison. In the end, it grinds you down. When all those years ago you thought yourself dehumanized in that first strip search, you were very wrong. Dehumanizing a person takes time. They chip
Facts.
away at you until your identity is nothing but a lump of stone, stripped of all
That
character.
shit's tough.
Year 30. It's as if you've
Jesus.
become a ghost. No one bothers you anymore. You're just the old timer serving your time. The last time you heard anything from your wife after the divorce was finished was a letter to say she had married your best friend. Your son, according to your wife, had fallen in with the wrong crowd. In any other circumstances, this would bother you.
Nah. I don't think he fell in with the wrong crowd. I just think she stopped becoming a mother. You know what I'm saying? Mama raised me.
But now you've stopped caring about what goes on in the outside world. That place is no longer real. The only reality is inside the prison walls, a nightmare you've learned to live with. You don't even know what year it is half the time. After decades, you've just stopped caring. You've seen a guy
Fuck.
beaten to death in here. You've heard countless screams from men having a mix of sugar and boiling water thrown in their faces. You've
Oh my
had good
God.
cellies
Sugar and boiling water. Isn't that called prison acid?
and bad cellies. One of the bad ones was a mouthy tough guy. He was transferred with a new scar on his face, made by a double-edged homemade razor.
Whoa!
Assaults are so common that many don't even get recorded. But the truth is, you barely even notice the violence these days. It's just a fact of life, like the sound of locks or the smell of disinfectant. You
Damn.
no longer even daydream about nice food or the touch of a woman. You focus only on what's in front of you. It's not what you don't have that hurts you in prison. Humans can get used to almost anything. What hurts the most is the things you could have had. You no longer see ruthless
Fuck.
gangs or heartless criminals in here, not like the TV shows want to make out. You just see victims of childhood trauma, of cruelty and rotten luck. Men who, for
Fuck.
the most part, were doomed from birth. You don't feel sorry for them. Some have done awful things, but you don't moralize. Prison is proof there is no such thing as free will because no one would choose to end up like this. Year 40. You came in here age 25 and now you're 65.
Oh my God, 65? Fuck. 65? That's your whole
The
life.
age at which most people retire. You often look in the mirror and you don't
Whoa.
recognize yourself. And almost time to go to leave these
Whoa.
walls. But the strangest, most debilitating thing is you're not sure if you want to go. For decades, you barely thought about life outside. Now it hits you like a brick and it scrambles your mind. You've seen the changes
Yeah,
on TV, new gadgets, wars, viruses, environmental
Cybertruck.
crises, and moral panics. And after a while, it all became meaningless. Sure, they've given you classes on how to reintegrate, but the fact is you became your prison number a long time ago. The outside
Damn.
world is no place for a man who thinks he's a number. Part of you wants to stay in your cell with your books, where you at least know the layout of the land. The dark irony is that the more dehumanized and institutionalized you become in prison, the easier it gets. The parole board said you were ready. The electronic bolt snaps
Fuck.
open, and they lead you down the corridor past the few old-timers who bother to say goodbye. But you're struck with a thought. Maybe the outside isn't where you belong. Maybe prison is your natural habitat. They
Fuck.
hand you your civilian clothes and a small bag with your wallet and phone.
Oh my god, the same shit that they took from you 40 years ago, they hand that shit back to you like, here you go. Oh my god.
There are $300 in there. You're not even sure it buys much in this new world. The phone lights up in your palm. The woman at the desk hides a smile as you prod the antique screen. The last time you stood here, you were good looking, with full hair, a man who once thought he'd do well in life. And now you're old, with 40 years missing. But inside you still feel the same, like your life was paused while the world kept moving. The door opens,
Fuck.
daylight hits your eyes, and you take your first steps into the future. Doing life behind bars shows just how
Fuck.
crushing prison can be, but some inmates refuse to accept their fate. Watch how insanely creative prisoners escaped from maximum security prison.
Whoa. Whoa. The horrifying true story of Jeffrey Epstein. Fuck, that's 30 minutes though, bro. Dude. Exactly, it was an intense 22 minutes. Thanks, Mr. Koba. Yeah, because that's going to fucking help. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Bottom line, have a good lawyer. Shut your ass up, man. Bro, you got glasses on, bro. Shut up, bro. And you're overweight. Yeah, putting you in someone else's shoes so you can feel the situation and take away. Yeah, if exactly. This is a crazy lesson, man. This made me cry. 2 years of no canteen, no visits, no mail, no calls. Damn. 2 years is insane. Of nothing. 2 years of nothing. Fuck. 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 Alright, y'all. We gonna tap in. Appreciate y'all if you tuning in. If you tuning in during the stream, appreciate you. If you tuning in after the stream, appreciate you. Because I know there's a lot of folks who watch the VODs when they get uploaded. So just know, if you want to watch these VODs again, and if they do get deleted on Twitch, just know you could go to my YouTube channel, Astro from 206. If you go to my YouTube channel, or 206 Astro, it's just Astro. If you search 206 Astro on YouTube, I'll pop up. If you search that, I will literally be there. I will be there, and you guys can rewatch these VODs as much as you want to. You go down to my go down right here. Go to my Instagram. Make sure you shoot me a follow. You'll see a lot more of the shit that I do. Other than that, man, if you're watching this on YouTube, appreciate you for watching. Go ahead, you know what I'm saying? Go tap in with these two platforms right here. And yeah, man, we gonna tap in, man. Good morning. Yeah, it's almost 4 in the morning.